While Kion, the second child of Simba, was born after the Outlanders were banished and Kiara first met her soulmate Kovu, where did he go prior to Kiara's first hunt? At some point before Kiara became an adult, her younger brother seemingly disappeared before the conflict that reunited the Pridelanders with the Outlanders. But today, we finally have an answer to this question. Hello, I'm Isaac from What's So Videos, where we discuss fun topics for fun people. I'm focused on spreading magic by examining Disney, so if you're new here, consider subscribing and following my adventures over on Instagram. In between Kiara's introduction to the Outlanders and her first hunt, Kion was born and rose to be the leader of the mystical group known as the Lion Guard. With this responsibility, he was also ceremoniously granted the Roar of the Elders, a roar that allowed him to call upon the great kings of the past to assist him in desperate times. Together with his friends, Kion defended the Pride Lands for many years, from hyenas, crocodiles, and jackals alike, who became united because of the resurrection of Scar. Within the fires of a volcano, the ghost of Scar was brought into the Outlands to lead the enemies of Simba into a new era by beginning a war. To have more context on Scar's return and how he began his conflict, you can find links to those videos below the like button. After many attacks sent by Scar into the Pride Lands and Kion's Lion Guard growing in strength, Simba eventually determined that it was time for the Pridelanders to defeat Scar by taking the fight into the Outlands. But this decision would come with a great cost for Kion. On the day of the attack, the many forces that supported the Circle of Life fought through the army of Scar, which allowed Kion and the Lion Guard to enter the Outlands volcano so they could confront Scar themselves. After explaining that destiny can be full of surprises, Scar commands his servant Ushari to charge at Kion, sending him to the ground and marking him with a scar. Kion now resembled the evil tyrant, which Scar insisted meant they were the same. While Kion was flesh and Scar was flame, they were both royalty who were tricked into receiving the mark.
You have the mark of evil.
Though Kion resisted Scar's words, the ghost continued to push the cub to believe that he was powerless to become like him. Many years ago, Scar had made a similar mistake. While patrolling the Outlands, Scar had been bitten by a venomous snake and was manipulated by a deceitful lion, which led to Scar losing control and destroying them. Over time, Scar grew to become petty and vengeful towards those who would hurt and mock him. Through this suffering, the dangerous lion of the Pridelands accepted his life as a vengeful creature and told Kion that he would suffer the same fate. With the venom inside of Kion, his mind began to be warped and altered. He could notice changes within himself, but he didn't allow his thoughts to bend to Scar.
Finding it difficult to think? My venom has a tendency to do that.
Instead, Kion listens to the words of his grandfather and looks inside himself before using his power to attempt to destroy Scar. Kion knew there was another choice, so instead of eradicating Scar, he offers him forgiveness. Kion would not allow himself to fall into evil and go against his better judgment, telling Scar that he cannot judge him for his previous actions. Only the lions of the past could do that. By calling upon the elders, Scar was removed from the world. But not before Scar warned Kion of the dangerous life he was leading with the power of the Roar of the Elders within himself.
The roar is a curse, Kion!
At first I believed the warnings from Scar could have only been given to force Kion to use the Roar of the Elders to eradicate the Pridelands by erupting the volcano. Earlier, Scar had admitted that was his goal. But when Scar was being stripped from the world by the holy rains that fell upon him, it seemed like his incentive to lie was over. Maybe he wanted to continue to pressure Kion to question himself and his actions even after he was gone. But I just felt there could have been some truth to his words, though only time will tell. What we know for sure was that even though Kion was told he had no choice to what he would become, he would resist this dark fate. After peace is restored between the Outlanders and the Pridelanders for now, and Kion sees the mark he was given, his mind begins to descend into worrying thoughts. He feels the weight of what's dawned his face.
The mark. It's just like Scar's. Could Scar be right? Am I destined to turn evil?
As his mind is clouded by concerns, his best friend Bunga, the bravest member of the Lion Guard, calls for Kion, but is met with a sudden use of the Roar of the Elders that even Kion wasn't expecting. Without knowing it, he had lost control like Scar had when he was first bitten. Of course, Kion didn't mean to act out or try to hurt anyone, but the bite had made him feel off ever since he was attacked. In hopes of finding answers, Kion and the Lion Guard go to Rafiki. Quickly, Rafiki sees Kion was doing everything in his power to remain calm as he notices the leader's heart is racing. Rafiki was knowledgeable about the venom Kion had within him, giving him a remedy to alleviate the symptoms that were harming Kion.
On the Tuliza blossoms, Kion.
Kion still had Ushari's venom within him, but while he would not perish from it, he had the potential to completely lose himself to it.
If the venom stays inside him too long, he may no longer know the difference between right and wrong.
While Kion was told that there was no cure in the Pride Lands, hope remained beyond their borders at a place where animals went when there was nowhere else to go to find help. Kion would need to venture to the safe place for animals who were hurt or sick.
If Kion is to get better, he must seek out the Tree of Life.
Now, when I think of the Tree of Life, all I really think about is the landmark at Animal Kingdom in Walt Disney World. But I'm pretty sure that it's going to be a lot different than that. It would be cool if they connect the Animal Kingdom Tree of Life to the Lion Guard, but I would also be fine if those stayed separate entities. Either way, they both represent a place where animals are able to thrive and live. To find a Tree of Life, Kion would need to travel from his home to be saved, as there were only a few trees remaining. Luckily, Rafiki knew the way though. Kion would have to follow the landmarks that were laid out before him to find the cure he needed. But on this adventure to this place, he would not be alone. With Scar's ghost vanquished and peace restored, the Lion Guard and Rafiki's apprentice were permitted by Simba to journey with Kion in hopes of them assisting the king's son as he works to save himself. Large quantities of Tuliza was packed to keep Kion's symptoms at bay, and as soon as they were able to leave, Kion and his friends said their goodbyes, hoping to leave so they could get ahead of the venom that was deteriorating Kion. While Kiara's first hunt approached, her younger brother was focused on a mission of his own to preserve his humanity and avoid the fate that was presented to him by Scar. Kion, of course, desired to be with his family as his sister would take on new challenges, and I'm sure he would have been there in the defense of Pride Rock if he could have been, but he was forced on a journey of his own, and he did not know when he would return. As Kion was wished well by his father and sister, his mother had a desire for her son, which unfortunately would not occur.
Hopefully you'll be back in time for Kiara's first hunt.
I hope so.
Kion hoped he would come back in time to see Kiara's first hunt, but he first had to leave the Pride Lands to save himself. Unlike Scar, who remained complacent with the venom that flowed through him, Kion would resist the effects and fight for a cure. He had to discover for himself whether his roar was a blessing or curse, and learn about himself on his quest to remove the venom within him that had once altered Scar. Kion left the Pride Lands before Kiara's first hunt in the conflict against the Lions of the Outlands, hoping to preserve who he was by seeking out the Tree of Life. Kion left before the assault on Simba and Pride Rock so he could fight against the destiny that was presented to him and desperately remain a hero. By the way, I just got home from Disneyland and the D23 Expo, which were a joy to experience. It was amazing to see so many dedicated and loving fans all in one place, and I'm ecstatic to bring that passion and revitalized spirit I feel from being at the happiest place on earth into my videos. I'm so blessed I had that opportunity to go, and I was excited to meet all of you who approached me. To see pictures of my most recent magical adventure and all future ones, it would mean a lot if you checked out my Instagram at Watso Videos. But now it's time to hear your thoughts. What do you think will occur on Kion's voyage outside of the Pride Lands? Let me know what you think in the comments, along with any other ideas you have for future videos. To see more Lion Guard videos, you can find a link to those in the description, and if you'd like to continue to see more magical discussions like this one, then don't forget to click that subscribe button and the beautiful bell if you're new. Thank you to my wonderful patrons over on Patreon who are amazing supporters of my videos, and as always, thanks for watching and have a magical day.